Hi there, wonderful awakening beings and spiritual souls. Jo Rose of JoRose.com, numerologist and energy forecaster. And in this video, I'm suggesting a reversed bucket list, an audit of 2019. It's time to reflect. Many people post-Christmas and pre the 1st of January get wrapped up in New Year's resolutions, goals, things they want to achieve, things they want to do. And we make this list with great gusto. And yet by the end of January, it's generally all forgotten. It's behind us. And I say that those that can make it work are generally in a personal year one or a personal month one. But don't worry, if you're not in one of those, all is not lost. If you've been following me for a while now, you'll know that I suggest every October gives us a taster of the year that's going to follow. And I ask people to observe and take note what's really going on, and then use the November and December to start creating the motion, because those numbers will repeat themselves in January and February. And it's so much easier when we're already in motion to continue. And having the test drive prior to the end of the year allows us to see what works and what doesn't work. So how many people do you know that say they can't wait for 2019 to end and the new year to start? I've met many people saying this, but I want to teach you that don't dismiss anything that happened this year, whether it was a challenge, an opportunity that you did or didn't take, whether it was something you suggested was a failure. What did you celebrate? We very rarely see our own growth. And when I work with clients, I do a little wheel of life chart so that we know where we start and where we end up, so that we can really take note of our own successes. Everything that happens to us, whether we feel it's good or bad, is here to empower our growth. It's to widen our perspective and allow our soul to expand. So let's spend some time with your magical moments over the last year. Go off and get yourself a pen and piece of paper and then come on back. Now you have your pen and piece of paper, let's start making notes. The body is not just a physical body. There are 4 bodies: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. So let's see what those 4 bodies discovered about you this year. When we think about the physical body, we think about movement, exercise, the strength, the doing, the action. So did you set yourself any goals, and can you get to tick them off? Were you one of those that run the marathon? I know I do Airbnb here, and I have the marathon runners stay here, and it's so great to listen to them, hear their build up, and then get that phone call after they've crossed the finish line to say how they did and how they feel about themselves. So did you accomplish a marathon, a triathlon, a decathlon? What about climbing the 3 peaks? Did you learn to scuba dive, swim, dance? Did you pick up some different sport activity? Exercise and physical work gets those endorphins and serotonins and all those chemicals going. That gives us more like oomph in our world and in our energy. So what did you do physically this year? On a different scale, did you go sightseeing? Did you travel, whether it be in the UK or abroad? Did you get to tick something off your bucket list? For me, I went to Greece and I did some exploring around a few places. I spent most of my time with Greek people and learning many Greek traditions. It was eye-opening and really wonderful to see how different cultures live. What did you learn while you were going off exploring about yourself and about other cultures? What did you bring back home from those trips to help you expand on whatever it is that you're doing? What did you do with your hands? Did you start crafting things? Have you created a new hobby? You know, where can you take that? Is it a part of your business? I just love craft and working with my hands. Did you build a new house? Did you decorate a house? Did you lay a new garden? Did you just work on all of these things? You know, go back and look at what you've done, what you achieved. When we can spend more time focusing on the successes that we've accomplished, it's way more empowering than looking at what did not work. What new knowledge did you gain by physically using your body? Make some notes and use these to help you progress for 2020. Let's move on to the mental side. So what exams did you work on, take? What results did you get? Was it GCSEs? Was you at uni? Did you get a bachelor's? What about alternative career movements? Did you retrain in something new? Are you ready to start off in a new business now that you've got this new knowledge and insight? Did you go to various workshops? And again, how did you grow your mind? What books did you read? Have you found some people that you like to follow on YouTube that really inspire and empower you? And what knowledge have you gained in yourself and now using to teach others and share? They say we become better teachers. We are a better teacher when we've learned it ourselves and we teach others and see how they can use it and expand on it. Have you found yourself some new mentors? I mentioned the videos, but what about mentors? Do you have mentors in your life? Are you looking for a mentor in specific areas? Make a list of where you want to expand and grow this year and see who could be your mentors. Just as this wasn't for this, but I do offer a mentorship to bring you back into alignment with you, who you are. I use the numerology to help inspire and empower you to give back the destiny that you were born to live, and we use the energy to move you towards the goals. Is that something that you want in 2020? Let's move on to the emotional. How did you expand in the emotional area? Did you let go of some relationships out of choice? And do you feel less drained from doing it? Did some people pass away and leave you? For me, I was unfortunate this year. My dad suddenly passed. One minute he's there getting a newspaper and the next minute he's gone. So I totally feel and understand anybody that's had a loss. And yet when I think about my dad, I don't think about it with sadness. I feel like he's lived his life, he's so done his time and he's moved on. And yet he's still here. He's still connected to with me. I can still converse or spend some time reminiscing with Dad. I hope you can do the same. Sometimes we get very melancholy around this time of year, fresh start without our partner. But what did they gift you while they were here? When they leave you, they've done their journey with you, and it's time for you to go on and make new relationships. So what new relationships did you create? And when you've let go of some others, what new relationships will you be creating in 2020? Perhaps you had a new pet. How's that going? Is it working out well? What about, was there a birth in the family to yourself, or are you a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle? Did you become a brother or sister to somebody new? And what about blended families? You know, more families are becoming blended. How's that working out? How are you connecting and making this new element that you have come into a whole new element of its own? How have you grown emotionally? You know, when we think about the emotions, it's really acknowledging how we feel, dealing with our emotions, whether they be anger, frustration, resentment, guilt, joy, contentment. It's all about, every emotion is as valuable as the other, and it's about using them to empower you. I've mentioned before about emotions, and I love the film Inside Out. I know I mention it all the time, but sadness was the one that I want to say save the day, because if without sadness they wouldn't have understood, they wouldn't have been able to move forward. And when we understand why we're sad and we take responsibility for why we're sad, then we can turn it around, because we can turn anything around when we choose. Back to the mental mindset is, two people can be in the same place and see it differently depending where they're coming from. And so I'm asking you to do these reflections so that next year you can deal with these emotions on a higher level. And the fourth body is the spiritual body. How have you developed? Personal development, all this positive focus is great, but spiritual development really deals with the emotions, for example. How is your spiritual development gone? What is your patience like? Oh, the people I sit in the car when I'm a passenger and they get frustrated with the traffic, and I say, well, this is the universe telling you it's time to slow down. I look at these situations in my own life now and I think, no, I'm not going to stress about the traffic. I'm just going to slow down. I might put some music on. I might think about something, but I'm not going to rush to my destination. If I was meant to be there on time, I would have been there on time. And if I'm meant to be delayed, I will be delayed. And sometimes when I just let it go, I still manage to make it. Prime example, I had an optician's appointment the other day, left in bags of time, but waiting to get into the car park, the traffic was just so long and was moving so slowly. I quickly messaged while I'm stationary, I want to add, waiting for my barrier and thing to move, messaged them, and they said, oh no, if you don't get here in the next few minutes, you'll be too late. And I literally missed those few minutes by 2 minutes. And he then spent another 7 minutes telling me I was too late. And the optician came out and called me in. And I was like, see, I was meant to have that appointment. And it doesn't matter what got in my way. I just let go of the stress and slowed down. So patience, wisdom. I've asked you to reflect so you can take the wisdom from all of this. What about expectations? Have you learned to let go of expectations? You know, numerology is a great thing because it's all about energy, never about expectation. We can work with the energy, we can make plans, and we take responsibility for what we do, and it happens. But never expect anyone else to come through. You hope, and if you've got them on board, the chances are they will come through. But that's down to how well you've connected with them. How are your connections? Are you connecting? Are you compassionate and considerate? Are you listening as well as speaking? Look at how you're working with this. What about your intentions? Did you set your intentions at the beginning of the year and each month? If you've looked at my personal year videos, I would have done a timeline for what you needed to focus on each month to make it happen. I would love to hear how that panned out for you. Do leave comments below. Your potential. Now you're reflecting. Can you see how much you've grown? What potential you have and what potential you can work on in the next year or the next decade? Doing this brings us more in line with our destiny. It helps us understand our purpose, and our purpose is really to live in the moment, to fulfill ourselves with each and everything we do. How much of service was you for others? And did you only do this once you learnt to serve yourself? Because you cannot serve others till you can serve yourself. You cannot love others until you can love yourself. How is that working out for you? Have you learnt to remove the mask, take down the facade? When we come in our true element to those before us, we'll be received that way. When we come with this fake element, we're received that way. And then when we muck up because it's hard work to keep being someone we're not, that's when the conflicts and everything starts. Honesty is the best policy, but do it with kindness and compassion. Have you bared your truth? I've just said this about honesty, but living your truth will bring your whole path into alignment and your achievements. The four bodies work best together, and in 2020 I will share in my 2020 video about the four bodies again, because when we can understand the structure of the four, the coming together of a team, we'll really grasp the energy of the next year. Doing this reflection is I suggest doing this reflection to help raise your confidence, to understand your self-worth, and to feel fulfilled, that you never let yourself down, that you did accomplish something. I set myself a goal at the beginning of the year to bring my subscribers up to 1,000. And each month I've worked to increase that. Will I make it to 1,000? I don't know. Chances are probably not. We're almost there now. But I certainly have grown it beyond what I could imagine. I did it in small steps, very 4 energy, because to do it from 0 to 1,000 was just overwhelming and too much. The 4 energy which we're coming into in 2020 is a step-by-step process, milestones along the way. Reflecting will allow us to do this. Now, on a quick check, those that were in a 1 year, ask yourself, did you become more independent, stand on your own 2 feet and push forward? Did you share your individuality and your uniqueness? Did you own this? Those that were in a personal year 2, it was a slower year for you. My suggestion was observation and patience. Nurture. This is a time when we just feed and water things. We don't really see what's going on. And my personal year was a year of patience and observation. And throughout the year, I was highly challenged with this. I felt so restricted. But when I look back now, I see how powerful it was to slow down and learn this. Those that have been in the 3 year, the same as the universe, it was all about emotions and self-expression. Did you get creative? Did you open up? Did you express yourself? Did you share? Have you learnt to work with your emotions? Do you feel more empowered now? If you followed this through, I know you will. I remember my personal year 3, my creativity didn't come out how I planned, but it did come out. And I'm so grateful for the progress it helped me make and the more I got to understand myself. Those that were in a personal 4 year, did you own your limitations and then use them as your strengths to become limitless? Did you push the boundaries? Did you create the foundations, the structure and the security that you need? Well, you're already running on the right power for 2020 because that's what it's going to be about. What about you in a personal 5 year? 180-degree change, adventure, probably chaos. How resourceful did you become when these things came along and challenged you and changed your world? Love to hear again from all of these so far in the comments below. What about those of you that were in a personal year 6? It was all about responsibility and service. You do need to be responsible for yourself so that when you're responsible for yourself, you're in the right strength and power and stamina to be responsible for others, perhaps children or elderly parents or friends in need. It's about coaching them to a better place. It's about listening to them. What did you gain? What insight, what expansion did you get from this energy? What about those that were in the 7? A time for reflection, understanding who you are and why you're here. This is when we think about the apple tree, when the apple is already formed. This is all the work that goes on inside. For me, I have just experienced a personal year 7, and I felt like I wasn't focused or I wasn't out there in the business world or doing things. And I know I wasn't meant to be. And at the beginning of the year, I wasn't totally using my faith and trust to allow it to unfold. But I have had a magical year. I really have had a magical year this year in inner growth, inner work, inner understanding. And I feel so much stronger about who I am and why I'm here. Those that have just experienced the 8 personal year, that was all about balance and balance of everything: work, family, self, others, material and spiritual. How did you get on? It's the number of karma. What goes around comes around. What did you reap that you had sown? And it'll always be a reflection of the effort that you put into it. And last but not least, those that have experienced a personal year 9. What have you let go of? How do you deal with detachments now? Forgiveness. Have you forgiven yourself for all the things that you didn't do or didn't achieve? Have you forgiven yourself for not forgiving? Have you forgiven others? Everybody is our guide. Nobody is here to wind us up or run us down. They're here to help us evolve. And if we can see all of that as a gift, then our growth and our expansion over 2019 will be incredible and put you in a great, solid, strong foundation for the 4 energy that's coming. I hope this helps you reflect and get you ready for 2020. I will be creating a video for 2020 in a few days' time and also for January. Another video I'll be creating will be about the roaring 20s that we're about to experience, because this 2 energy is going to play out now for the next decade. Also following in January will be 2020 personal years, starting with how to correctly calculate what personal year you're in. If you really want to know what 2020 has to offer, do subscribe, press the bell so that you can stay notified for all these videos that are about to be launched. And if anybody really wants to really grab hold of their 2020 and their life and get things in motion, then please get in touch with me for either a reading, a consultation, or the full-blown mentorship. That is life-changing, the mentorship, but even having a reading will help you understand and maybe accept who you are. I've loved sharing all my videos with you over 2019. I've loved the comments, the connections I've made, and the insight I've got from some of you. I've loved working with you on a short or long-term basis. I really hope that you can use this particular video to reflect over your 2019 in preparation for 2020. All that's left for me to say now is Happy New Year! And I'll see you on the other side of the 31st of December. Thank you for watching.